Hey, what's up? How's it going, everybody? We are going to watch Captain Phillips for episode 17 of Antisocial Commentary. It's a long one, so let's get the movie started right now. Here we go. We are going to push play on the DVD. I got the Blu-ray. I'll show it in a second here. We're going to push play in a bit here. Captain Phillips, Antisocial Commentary, episode number 17, action. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead, grab our remote here. The beginning of the movie, 00000. I'm going to push play on the timer and the movie in 3, 2, 1, play. All right, cool. Just going to grab the Blu-ray that we're watching just to let you know which version we are watching. I apologize. I'm extremely tired. I've been up all night, but we are watching this version of Captain Phillips. And I don't have any notes in front of me or anything like that. I am just trying to do the commentary, I guess, just for fun. I didn't get a chance to watch the director's commentary, so I know absolutely nothing about this movie. Except for it's about like pirates and Tom Hanks, and if I remember correctly, Tom Hanks caps everybody, even his own crew. He's like, I don't give a fuck. But we'll see. No, it's joking. Mr. Richard Phillips is actually his birthday is right on this slate here. We got 5/16/55. So May 16th, 1955 was when the legend, Mr. Not Tom Hanks. He's played by Tom Hanks. Richard Phillips, yeah. Captain Phillips. My grandfather was a captain of a ship on the Red River. I think I said that in the Perfect Storm podcast that I did. I love the realistic nature that Tom Hanks brings to this performance. I mean, he does that every time, but this scene in particular about, the Toyota commercial. No, I'm joking, but like the realistic part where you got to keep up with the rest of the world. Their back and forth is very good. The hell's her name? I wrote it down right here, so I don't have any notes in front of me, but I wrote something in here. See, I watched that Tucker Carlson interview with Rob O'Neill and wrote this stuff down, but good monologue. There's a certain level of like evolutionary adaptation of the way people approach everyday work life. Things get more efficient, and it's just unfortunate that part of that efficiency might actually result in something like a train not needing an actual conductor and engineer, or the way vehicles are being replaced by AI and stuff like that. In 20 years from now, it is going to be something to see the world, like, what if the world has no more real human drivers, right? Because AI is that efficient. That would be trippy. So that lady's name, I wrote it down here somewhere. That lady's name was Catherine Keener. Where the hell did I see her before? I saw her in the movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Yeah, she was very good in that one. Which reminds me, I bought a Judd Apatow collection. It's around here somewhere. So we'll have to do the 40-Year-Old Virgin one. The 40-Year-Old Virgin one day. Because it's like basically the story of my life. Now, Musey, like, just the perfect antagonist. We have Barkhad Abdi. And I do love the way people are like, wow, he's so believable as a Somali pirate. Well, he looks the part, right? So it's so much easier for him to play this role. But he does deliver a crystal clear performance. And Paul Greengrass instantly gives Abdi a certain vibe. Like there's an ambition there. He's ambitious. I mean, it takes ambition to wake up at all, right? And he showed up for the group meeting, wants to earn his keep. And all that stuff they're carrying around. It's a drug that kind of increases their energy. And it helps seasickness and stuff like that is what I heard. And cot. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I want to try the cot that they try in this movie, Captain Phillips. I'm not going to lie, but you should never do drugs, ladies and gentlemen, ever. But yeah, like there's something about Abdi's performance in here that's just flawless. I do this for free, so it's not like it's not like a label will matter. If you saw the label of the iced tea that I'm drinking, it is really good. It is really good. But it was unintentional. Man, I want to smoke. I think I want a cigarette. I haven't had a cigarette in years. Well, not years. When I was with my ex-girlfriend, she loved to smoke a lot, and once in a while, I'd have a puff of her cigarette, and it does feel good, but at the same time, the toll on the body and the taste of it, and there's a certain an after fuzz in the lungs because of the type of smoke tobacco is. Now, the best thing about a Paul Greengrass movie is how realistic of a life or death situation it can be. Like even this part where the pirates are getting ready to attempt to board Captain Phillips' ship, will they? We'll have to wait and see. But not like the way that they're getting ready right now, there's a certain danger among them. even though when you're in the moment you're as thick as thieves, there's always that like side eye, like, can I trust you? Like, we're both pirates, right? Like, Musey Musey has a dangerous life, and you kind of, I don't know, you kind of have like an empathy right away for their lifestyle. Like, this is an everyday life for Captain Phillips, and Musey's life that we just saw is an everyday life for Musey. And that's what I love about this movie, Captain Phillips. 2013, I hope. I get a lot of facts wrong. So if you're like watching any of these with me, then just go ahead and put the facts that I got wrong. Because I think I said some weird like Pulp Fiction stuff, and I'm like, that wasn't the same actor. I don't know. I said some weird stuff before, but I know I fucked up. Like in the podcast The Guardian, I said 8 meters instead of 8 feet. It was like, I was like, oh yeah, it's a 4 meter pool, and like I said that something about an 8 meter pool, but when I meant 8 feet. Yeah, I don't know, because I was just thinking about the way some of the public pools, some of them are like 8 feet, and then some of them are like 4 feet, because Kevin Costner in The Guardian was patronizing his co-star in The Guardian, right? So check out The Guardian if you haven't already. Just another good movie with an emergency out to sea, similar to The Perfect Storm, which I mentioned already, with the Andrea Gale. This is the Alabama Maersk, if I hope I said that right, but that is the name of their ship. Now I'm having trouble remembering their names. Like, I know one of them's Corey Johnson because of The Mummy. Let's see, we got Michael Chernus as Sean Murphy. That's who Tom Hanks is talking to right now. Michael Chernus. Cool. He looks like I've seen him somewhere before, like what's the thing there? Looks like I've seen him in like a comic relief kind of role, but I can't remember anything off the top of my head right now. Reminds me of some Mark Wahlberg movie with Rose Byrne, where like one of the couples was that like Tom Segura or something. I can't remember, but his timing kind of has that. I thought I read a review about Captain Phillips's beard. Like, it keeps jumping back and forth from 5 o'clock shadow and like not 5 o'clock shadow. So it's like sometimes it's a beard, sometimes it's a goatee. But ultimately, that's just how you make a movie, right? So I'm on board with it. I don't pay attention that close that I'm like, Tom Hanks's hair on his cheek is a little bit longer than, and now it's shorter now. I don't pay attention that much. No, I do. I love this movie. It's a really good movie. It really is gripping. And the reason is they use like a real ship. I think I wrote that one down somewhere. I only have 2 pages here. Like, everything else is blank in this. Oh wait, what's this? What did I write here? 000 birth, 999 death. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, right? Like, maybe lifetime in days. No, I'm joking. But so yeah, The original ship is the Maersk, Alabama. There's a sister ship, though. I'm trying to remember where it is or find it. But yeah, they use one of the sister ships of the Maersk, Alabama to recreate Captain Phillips, but I can't seem to see it on this page here. I'll read some of this page right now. Let's see. The hijacking in this movie, oh, sorry, spoiler alert, lasts 96 hours on Easter Sunday, right? Like is when it starts. Let's see, 275 miles off the coast of Somalia. 70% of pirate attacks happen around dawn. Americans typically mean a higher ransom. And then like some of the crew, I can't remember who it was in the crew there. It was either Sean Murphy or Mike Perry. I think it might have been Mike Perry who said something like, "At worst, I was going to spend months in Somalia as a hostage," which is a terrifying thought, right? If that was Mike Perry, it might have been Sean Murphy or another one, but let's see. See, the Gulf of Aden has a very high traffic for pirates. It's not in this movie, the Gulf of Aden, I don't think, but that's where a very high traffic of pirates comes from. And yeah, there's a nice quote from the documentary that I'll share a little bit later, but you might have heard it. It's at the end of the documentary, so I'll say it at the end of this movie. But yeah, it's just a really good movie, super realistic. That Barkhad Abdi, though, man, he stole the show. He stole the show to the point that, like, you know, it becomes him in the year 2013. Like, they must have parodied it. When they parody it on, like, Family Guy and a bunch of other shows, then you know it's a good, influential movie. And it's even better because it's based on the actual Captain Phillips's experience, with his crew and the Somali pirates, right? So, yeah, man, it's just a good movie. I've been on a ship a couple of times, and when I was a kid, I remember being on a ship, and the crew started watching the movie A Clockwork Orange, and I was like 9 years old or something, and I was, and and it was like the scene in the theater when Alex in the movie A Clockwork Orange is like, "Billy boy, Billy goat, chip oil, poison." You gotta see the movie; it's so good. But yeah, it was during that scene when I was a kid and I saw that, and I was like, "Oh man, I can't watch this because it's like, I'm 9." It was pretty Stanley Kubrick, so it's a good movie. It's a good movie. A Clockwork Orange. I just thought about that because that was the first movie that I saw on a ship, and I think I mentioned that in the Perfect Storm podcast. I like how those hoses are like they're a neat, less lethal defense for the ship. So there's a certain smart. There's a certain smart quality to the way engineers made this like less lethal defense mechanism to the point where they cared about the human life of the hijacker by having the water pumps be like that's what they were, screwing the hoses together or whatever. So that's why I was thinking about the water pumps before we get to the fucking part here. I should wait. But I'm excited. I'm excited because I like this movie. So that's why I'm like, I just want to tell the ending right now. Acting is so much easier when, like the set looks perfect. The only Tom Hanks movie that I think is kind of not up there is that movie Greyhound for some reason, but maybe I have to watch it again. But I thought there was too much CGI in Greyhound, and I get why the studio had to save money in order to allow it to be profitable in this day and age or something like that. But Greyhound, it could have been better. So one thing cool about this movie is that like we're thrust into action as soon as the pirates make their attempt, like 20 minutes into the movie, right? 21. That dude right there, he's cool. He's cool. I've seen him in. I don't know how many people in this movie are also in United 93, but it's Paul Greengrass. And if you're Paul Greengrass's friend, you might be in his next movie, right? Stuff like that. So it's like one of those. But Corey Johnson, the guy that I was talking about there, like he was really cool in the movie The Mummy. I know I said that earlier, but just the people in the movie The Mummy, everything about that movie The Mummy, that I'm going to do a podcast about eventually, starring Brendan Fraser, everything about that movie was flawless. A hip you set down. I don't know how to speak Egyptian or whatever. I don't know what it is. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Now I like the music. A little bit like, I don't know, a certain kind of espionage pirate, like just the music, right? Espionage pirate kind of move, like music score, solid. And then they cut back to America, and the music's not as intense. And then they cut back to the pirates, and the music gets intense again. And that contrast combines both Captain Phillips' everyday life as we think it, because he's the blue collar guy that I go to work, he goes to work. That's me. He's got that going for him. And then the pirates having that like living thievery kind of lifestyle that they have to live. That's like they got no choice. They have to be pirates. And then these guys, they have to be the crew of the Maersk, Alabama. The realism is the way of the world depicted on the film. So that's what makes Captain Phillips 5-star movie. The part that I love about things like this part is that both sides try to trick one another within the movie, like consistently. The music kicks back in. And that look that Musey gives the current leader, it's like, what are you doing? I know what to do. I know best. Musey's ego, love it. Character development instantly. Yeah, man. That technique that Paul Greengrass uses, low music, then back to intense music, low music, back to intense music. It's good dynamically speaking. Yeah, that's so like degrading of one another, right? Like the pirates want to take these people against their will. And that's like the ultimate form of degradation. To be taken against your will, right? To a certain extent. So that alarm that exists within the crew as the fucking pirates try their best, it's just intense. And then the way the music cuts out when the engine cuts out for the pirates, so cool. Very cool cinematography. Hey, I think I had that shirt in 2013. I cannot for the life of me remember that one guy's name. Oh yeah, that was David Warshofsky. They have Chris Mulkey. And I think that's the crew that I got written down. And then I only got like two more characters. No, wait, never mind. Okay, so filmed using the Alexander Maersk is the sister ship or brother ship or whatever. So the Alabama Maersk is being depicted by the Alexander Maersk. Now the thing about the cargo ship is like the cargo ship could have taken the low road and Maersk or whatever company they are, like they could have hired like like 15 different people with guns to take care of the ship and be like security guards for the ship, but they took the high road and kind of had a safer approach to the pirates. And again, that's just, there's a certain respect there, at least the way it's depicted in this movie, right? I heard some people kind of say that there's certain propaganda in this movie, but you know, it's a movie. It's supposed to be like one route or another. It's supposed to be an over exaggeration of the truth, a dramatization of the truth. And even the way he typed that, I'm sure he saw the way the real Richard Phillips typed, and Paul Greengrass put it on there for Tom Hanks to act it out. Man, United 93 is fucking awesome. And it's not propaganda, it's more like a dramatization of the truth as well. But that's what I also love about United 93. Because I was like, I was still a kid when like 9/11 happened. So like during that part of 9/11 and all that jazz there, a movie like United 93 was very intense emotionally. It was my Gulf of America, Now, right there, he gave himself his own promotion. But at the same time, he's holding a gun against him. So, smack him with a wrench. What are you going to do? But yeah, man, Musey is like a complicated badass. And then our protagonist, a man named Otto, Mr. Woody, Mr. The Burbs over here. And he's just such a cool, blue-collar, down-to-earth Richard Phillips. Couple of pictures hung on the wall to make it feel homely. Because it is their home, right? Like, how many years was Richard Phillips a captain, right? Like, he started very young. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but the ship is your home. And I respect that about the real Richard Phillips and the way the legend Tom Hanks plays the role. Now that picture, I apologize, but it's like that picture is when Ricky Gervais roasted people at the Golden Globes, and it was legendary, and that was Tom Hanks's reaction to Felicity Huffman. Go check out that Ricky Gervais roast, the Golden Globes. So fucking just a legendary stand-up performance. I think I'm gonna have to buy a Ricky Gervais autograph. I think I'm gonna have to buy one. I wasn't going to because it was like $64 Canadian, and then I made an offer for $50 Canadian, and they denied my offer. And the reason I offered 50 is because the shipping and handling when you buy autographs, it's a lot. It's a lot. So if you're gonna pay $30 of shipping and handling, try to get the autograph as low as you can. And basically, the guy was looking to get 100 Canadian for it, is what it looks like. You include in with the shipping and handling and all that stuff. So I respect that, and I think I might have to buy that Ricky Gervais autograph because of look at Tom Hanks' face. That was a legendary performance by the one of the best stand-up comedians of all time, who created The Office. And now the way that our protagonist tried to trick the crew and act like a rescue was going to take place, and then they were looking for planes earlier. Now these people were trying to trick them. We're here to help you. That part was good. Fucking love that part. Again, just another shout out to the realism in this movie. Because these are blue collar dudes. These are not the SEALs yet. You know what I mean? They're not SEAL Team 6 or whatever. That guy's just a really good captain of a ship. He knows how to operate the ship. He knows how to operate the crew. He's not in it to, cap a motherfucker out. He's not in it for that. Captain Phillips is in it for the money and his love for the ocean to be sweet. So I wish I studied this film more because, they had to have used a studio, duh, and then real footage, and then spliced real footage and the studio together. And I wonder how much of the studio and how much of the ship, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but how much of this is in the studio? Studio? Exterior shot, maybe? I don't know. Studio? Exterior shot. Yeah, I don't know. I should have done way more research on this, but I do love this movie, and thanks for watching it with me if you're watching it with me. My last couple of episodes, I haven't been studying very well, but I promise you that on May 4th, I will do a couple of Star Wars movies just to, just for fun, because it's Star Wars Day, and I promise to do my best to study my trivia and my behind-the-scenes stuff before watching that film. Right now, I just love the realism by Paul Greengrass, depicted right up there on the screen. And now the intensity of the music, the way the music becomes a character, the music has stopped being so quiet for the crew, and now the music is louder for the crew because they're being infiltrated. What's the word? Boarded? Abducted? That thing there where you commandeer a ship? Commandeer. There you go. Why not? Let's see. We hit the... Yeah, the timer's pretty damn good. The timer is in sync. Hell yeah. Very good look of concern by Tom Hanks. consistently throughout the rest of the movie now. Like I try to think like how I would react in a situation like that. And basically, like I would have like threw a wrench at the leader, and then I would have threw a harpoon at no I'm sure during a pirate abduction. I don't know how I would react, but I would like to think that I would react like Captain Phillips, like the way he acts throughout the movie is pretty darn selfless and something a hero does. Tom Hanks plays, just a flawless hero. Yeah, it reminds me of things like Sully, starring Tom Hanks. That Saturday Night Live skit with Tom Hanks as Sully is so good. If you haven't seen the Tom Hanks skit, SNL Sully, go and see it. It's fucking awesome. If you haven't seen Tom Hanks SNL Black Jeopardy with Kenan Thompson and Leslie Jones, and I'm sorry I can't remember the other lady, maybe like Melissa Villaseñor or something. I can't remember the other lady though. No, I can't. No, I can't remember the other lady. It wasn't Melissa Villaseñor. Is that even her name, or is it Vanessa? I can't even remember. But SNL Black Jeopardy, Tom Hanks, so fucking funny, dude. But then Tom Hanks has been blessed with so many good SNL skits that he can have his own like best of pretty much like, and I'm basing that on those two and David Pumpkins. Yeah. And now we have the first back and forth scene between our main protagonist and our main antagonist in the same room. Through the radio, there was distance even in the music, and now, like, the pirates have taken over. No music for a second here. Exactly. Just business. Props. Props to Abdi. Like, this being like one of his like early roles, he kind of like with Tom Hanks, like even, totally even. Now, if you were those pirates, doesn't like $30,000 sound like a good take? You know what? I'll take the $30,000. I'm gonna go back. But then, like I know it's a little bit like dramatized and all that, but I wonder like how not urgent, but like how much of the community are these pirates really trying to look out for, and how much of it is greed? Like, where is that line? Wish I knew more about the Somali pirates, so maybe check out a documentary on YouTube. Yeah. And that scene right there made him famous, dude. It's like that's just like one line. That's Abdi's "Hasta la vista, baby," or like Abdi's "You want to be in a movie with me?" I know I can't do a Sylvester Stallone like my friend can. One of my friends does. Like, hey, you want to be in a movie with me? Hey, oh, Adrian, oh. Do you believe in God? That was my Matthew McConaughey. That wasn't very good, but the urgency of this situation clearly so captivating. Now they have a couple of like safe rooms and alternate controls built in the ship for scenarios like this in real life kind of thing. So like the crew can go to a cramped little space and steer the ship how they want, and the pirates be like, "What's going on here?" Would you be able to, you know, be a captain of the ship like that? Would you be able to operate that ship with no training whatsoever, like a Somali pirate? Right? So there's a certain helpless situation in trying to convince this crew to steer the ship that the way they want. There's almost too much humanity in these pirates to a certain extent. See, there's almost too much humanity there, meaning that like it just giving them too much time to reconsider not killing somebody to be like, we're fucking serious. Like they could have like done that as like psychotic pirates or whatever, but there's a certain humanity that makes Musey and his crew like, so far nobody died. So when he said just business, right? Just trying to make money. And that helplessness again, just that like that part where Musey's like, no game, right? Like with that no game part where it's just like the whole time though, Captain Phillips toys with him, everybody toys with him, just I empathize, but at the same time I don't empathize with Musey. That's why his character works on so many levels too. There's a lot of Maersk logos, but I mean the containers belong to the company, so just felt like a really strong commercial for Maersk or whatever. Like in Ricky Bobby there, like that fucking Talladega Nights. I love that movie, but at the same time, the product placement in that movie is very intense. Just super intense. Like every scene, there's like Wonder Bread. You know what I mean? Yeah. They show a couple of commercials in this movie as well. So I feel so bad for Musey right there because like Captain Phillips is playing him right, and he's like, no tricks, no games. Solid acting by Tom Hanks there. Good poker face, but Musey is actually like smarter than he seems, but at the same time, though, just overly trusting, man. That's why I'm glad that I'm part of this life, here in Canada, where I am lucky to not have to be a pirate or something like that. Because I could go all in, dude. I could totally go all in, but you know, I was born and raised in Canada, so I really respect the law way too much, eh? If I was born in Somalia, though, I think I could totally go all the way with, with, what I mean, like, take me to your crew. No, shoot him right in the arm, and they're like, no, take me to your crew. No, shoot him right in the leg. Like I would be way too evil. So I'm glad I was born here in Canada, where nobody has to be evil in Canada. And if you do be evil, I don't know, whatever. You know how Canada is. Cigarette over his ear, man. I want a fucking cigarette. So, one of the cool things that I really love about this podcast is I get to live my dream, which is like being a black guy in a movie theater talking away. I'm just joking. That was a terrible racist joke because Musey's right there. I'm just messing around. But no. I love movies and I get to talk over the movie. Like everybody dreams about that. It's like when you watch a movie with your buddy, you kind of want to joke about the movie, but at the same time, if you're watching that movie with a buddy and he wants you to pay attention, you owe him that respect to see the movie without being like, so when's the pizza gonna get here? Yeah, just some beautiful exterior shots. Like that kind of looks like green screen or something like that, but it's still like some good exterior shots. But like I don't really like I said, I didn't really study this movie that well. That could have been the real ship. I don't know. But like movie magic. Sometimes sets look like real ships. The American flag. Oh, this poor guy here. Poor kid, right? I think this movie's in like 2013 or something like that, right? And I think that kid was like born in like 1995 or something like that, right? So I mean, like just to be like young in a movie like this, and then like there's a certain kind of empathy at first for just the way his feet are, just because everybody has stepped on something where it kind of like it is painful, and it's just one of those things, man. Like maybe I'm empathizing or sympathizing with the wrong characters here, but I definitely like both sides. I do feel for like, and I hope that's what Paul Greengrass is going for, right? Like it's not like they're overly removing the empathy for these pirates, like their shots didn't land on any of the crew members yet or whatever, right? Like, so it's not like they hurt anybody yet to the point where you're like, I hope these guys get their comeuppance. It keeps you more like, hey, I hope everything works out for everybody here. So there's that certain presentation that both sides are worth feeling for? That was a really cool name, you know? Paul Greengrass. I mostly like that last name is pretty solid sounding. Greengrass, right? And that's just because we're at the end of winter right now, and I miss seeing green grass. I think so. Cause like, oh, dude, it was like 2 days ago. It was like snowing, and actually no, it was snowing like fucking 2 hours ago. Never mind. It was like April 17th or something. My slate has the wrong date on it because I was supposed to do I was supposed to do this podcast on April 14th, but I didn't get around to it until today, and today is April 17th. So I apologize for that, but yeah, the real Captain Phillips' birthday is on my slate, May 16th, 1955. Already said that. Cool. Aw. So I always feel bad for that guy because, again, born into that life, has to be a pirate, thinks he's doing good, like the way people are like fighting for their country, like he's fighting for his community, kind of, just by trying to bring more money to, you know, himself and others, whatever. There's that, I want to be rich quality to it. So it's very easy to empathize with somebody that young, just falling for that lifestyle. And then while being caught up in this lifestyle, he fucking steps on some glass and shit like that. And yeah, I don't know. So yeah, there's Musey getting high from the cot there, of course. I still want to try that stuff, dude. Like, for real. Like, that would be fun, but but no, like, never. Don't do that stuff. Like, and the reason I'm saying never is, like, if you're my kids and you're watching this in the future, first of all, daddy is a different breed. I apologize for being so outspoken and like a different person than, like, well, I mean, I'm the same as everybody else. We're all equal, but there is a certain daddy quality where like I do stuff like this stupid podcast, and I share myself way too much, and I joke way too much. But it's one of those things where I love sharing the truth as much as I love joking. So I'll do both, and that's what this podcast is about, right? Sharing the truth, joking around about the movie a little bit, but at the same time diving into the story and explaining to you how I feel about this story. Like right there, right? Like the ambush is like the right thing for the crew to do, but at the same time, because I have this weird empathy for, I love expressing that to you. So thank you for letting me have a couple of minutes of your time. But yeah, dad's different. Dad's different. I said yes to your mother's. You're here now. Thank you. Your purpose in life from me is for you to grow up and take care of yourselves, and to, like, get out of your mom's house, take care of yourself, pay your own rent, get your own careers, all that stuff. That's your purpose from me, your father, if you're watching this. Your purpose for yourself, though, it should be something healthy. It makes you happy, and at the same time, your purpose for yourself is supposed to matter more to your one life. But do take care of yourself first, okay? Love, Dad. Yeah, Musey plays that like defeated look right there very well. There's so much there's so much I have to do this from both sides of the characters. You know, like the protagonists and then the antagonists. There's so much I have to do this about this movie that just resonates with millions of viewers who love this movie all around the world. I've heard a lot of different stories for how this movie is to a lot of people, and like it's the realistic nature of this movie that is captivating. I saw a couple like bad reviews where it said something like, that's classic American propaganda. That's not really how Somalia is. That's a very small percentage of Somalia and all that stuff." But I'm going to be honest with you. I've never been there, but at the same time, I've heard stories, just enough stories. Like today, I I was thinking about how in like, you know, well, I was thinking about Africa, and I don't really know too much about it, but I do know that like all around the world, not just Africa, like children are starving to death, and like every 10 seconds one of them dies, and that's like so devastating. And I just, I don't know why I think like that during this movie, but like there's a certain I have to do this, like they're they're like that skinny for a reason. They need food, they need medicine, they need dentists. Like, what I mean, you see how yellow Musey's teeth are. Good makeup department, by the way. Now I can't remember his name. It's almost like the same name as Barkhad Abdi, but there's like Abdi Manap kind of or whatever. I was like, almost like, no, I didn't write it down, but it was like Barkhad Abdi something. There's an extra couple syllables. Go check it out, man. Go check it out. If you want to check out the cast, you know where it is. But yeah, man. Like, I thought like maybe they were like brothers, and that's not like they look alike joke. No, that's not like that. But I thought maybe they were brothers because they were both named Barkhad, and maybe that like the way we use the last name here is like the first name there or something. I don't know. I don't know. Man, that's a nice rope. I want that blue rope. That intense look of horror from the crew right there. Cap. That's really good. That fear and uncertainty, though, that Tom Hanks brings to the Captain Phillips role, dude, so good. Like, speaking of Tom Hanks, man, like a lot of people have been hating on Tom Hanks and saying some like, really weird shit about Tom Hanks, but like I like his movies. I'm not gonna just not be a Tom Hanks fan unless he goes like full Cosby somehow. but but like I'm Tom Hanks is like solid. Until until whatever. But like name a Tom Hanks movie that you don't like. I mean, Greyhound was like maybe one of them, but like everything else that the guy has done has just been pretty entertaining, right, to say the least. Like let's see, I brought up The Burbs earlier. Brought up A Man Named Otto. Dude, A Man Named Otto was really good. I don't want to give away anything about A Man Named Otto, but there's a certain like more questioning mortality quality to the movie that I really enjoy. So go check out A Man Named Otto if you haven't seen it. But I mean, like that's Woody from Toy Story. That's the dude from Big. That's Turner and Hooch. Like that's that thing you do. Like Philadelphia. Like you know what I mean. Like the man, and he took one for the team. And he acted with his son there in that movie, The Great Buck Howard, which I fucking mentioned in the last podcast I did with John Malkovich and stuff like that. And in The Great Buck Howard, Tom Hanks actually plays. I apologize if this is a spoiler, but in The Great Buck Howard, Tom Hanks actually plays Colin Hanks' dad, which is pretty cool. It's like when Charlie Sheen was in the movie Wall Street, and then his father Martin Sheen, Mr. Apocalypse Now there, like showed up in the movie Wall Street. Which reminds me, I apologize if my Colonel Kurtz and my Martin Sheen impression wasn't very good because I blinked when I was playing the soldier. That part where it's like are you an assassin? No, I'm a soldier. Yeah, you're not either. Or whatever. I can't remember what he says. So I was like, you're neither. You're an errand boy sent by grocery clerks to collect a bill. Like, man, like, classic Brando was like, classic Darren. No, no, classic Brando. Classic Brando was so good, dude. Like, Guys and Dolls was actually like really underrated. I love that fucking movie, even though it's like, I don't know, they make fun of it on The Simpsons for it being kind of a fruity movie because of like Waylon Smithers or like just stuff like that. But I liked it. It was fun. Marlon Brando. Yeah, man, I want to watch Apocalypse Now after this. I have a Harrison Ford picture around here. I'll just use that one. Or no, maybe I'll go out and buy a nice picture of Martin Sheen or Charlie Sheen or something. Well, Charlie Sheen's not in the movie Apocalypse Now, but he was on set. So if I did have a picture of Charlie Sheen, I could say, hey, Charlie was on set during this movie. I don't know. But no, I should get a picture of Colonel Kurtz there. Martin Sheen is cool, man. Like in the movie Spawn, I really liked him in the movie Spawn. He's just a, evil dude in Spawn. But yeah, back to Captain Phillips here. So what was that, like a day on the lifeboat? Because they went to dusk, and now they're back at dawn here. So that was like one day. So there'd be like 2 more days left. The very first time I saw this movie, I mean, sometimes you have shit to do. And the very first time I saw this movie, I had to stop watching it because I had to go driving like halfway through. And oh man, I was so mad at myself for not letting myself finish the Captain Phillips movie the first time I saw it, dude. Yeah, man, starving people in Africa, though, dude, it's just. Like, I mean, I know it happens in other places in the world, dude, but it's like. Just. There's this photographer, I can't remember his name for the life of me right now, but man, he ended up killing himself after he fucking seen a starving child on his way to a place to get food, like just like weeping on the ground as a vulture like waits for that kid to die. And after, after taking that photo, that photographer killed himself. And it's just like, it's the most devastating thing in the world, because like every 10 seconds, like a vulture gets that wish to come true for like, just getting to feed on a real human being who just wanted to eat something, man. I apologize for taking this to a darker place, but Tom Hanks there mentioned Food for Africa, and like, I just wish there was something that we could do about it, like the geography of the land, the location where they are. It's just like, they could move from there, and but like, that's their home. How can you leave your home so willy-nilly, so easily, or whatever. But yeah, man, it is a real global concern, and I hope that somehow we figure out a medium where these children who just want to be fed get fed, because I can't imagine denying any of the children that I have. I can't imagine just denying them food when they're in pain from being hungry. So find a way to help out, and donate if you can, right? But you got to be careful out there in the world, ladies and gentlemen, because you could donate to a charity, and then that charity might not use your money specifically for the cause that you're sending it to. Excuse me. That charity, for example, we need money for a new mop. So like when you send money to like a non-profit organization, sometimes they can use your money for like just keeping the non-profit business part going, and then like only using like $1 of your donation to go towards the actual conquering of world hunger. So be careful who you donate to. Try to figure out who is very good at that due diligence stuff, where it's like you can kind of see where your donation is going. Try to find that as much as you can if you're choosing to donate. Now I'm trying to remember his name. I think I wrote it down because he's from Seinfeld. Here we go. Yeah, I did. Yul Vasquez. And the cool thing about Yul Vasquez is not only does he look like Henry Rollins, like a watered down version of Henry Rollins, I think. I don't know. But like, he's also like in Seinfeld, and he's like, who did not wear the ribbon? Yeah, he's got a pretty funny episode, I thought. Or like a couple episodes. Was he in 2 episodes? I can't remember. But I know he has a good episode there with that like Puerto Rican Day Parade in Seinfeld. Yeah, man. Yul Vasquez is just a legend like anybody else that was in the Seinfeld show, from like Bryan Cranston to fucking, I don't know. There's like thousands of really good guest stars in fucking Seinfeld. I don't know why I'm thinking about Seinfeld right now. Oh, no, wait. Yul Vasquez. That's right. But yeah, I don't know why I just picked one guest star. I think it's because I'm drawing a blank and I can't remember who was Crazy Joe Davola, but I remember Wayne Knight was in it. Wayne Knight was so fucking funny as Newman. But yeah, okay. Obviously. Let's get back to Captain Phillips here. See, now that scene right there, like it looked like it realistic, yes, but it also looked like synthetic techniques to convey the realism. But at the same time, when you see something that's like super realistic, sometimes it'll be like, oh, is that fake? Like, I remember when Howard Hughes was doing some sort of movie where he was filming planes, but because when he was filming planes, there was no clouds in the background, those planes looked like they weren't even moving around, right? It looked fake. But that same kind of thing could happen when you're filming a ship or something like this, or in this case, the safety pod or whatever. Like, to me, it looked like that safety pod was built in a pool in a studio or something like that, but it could have been real. Maybe look into the director's commentary. Maybe check out the behind the scenes. Maybe I should have did that before I did the podcast. Definitely. I apologize. No, wait. Fuck that. I'm not going to apologize. It's my podcast. Thank you for watching, though. I appreciate that, but I'm not going to apologize. I'm just going to, roll with it now. I'm just trying to figure out a way to get Musey and his crew out of this. But I don't think that there's any way for Musey and that to get out of this, right? Like, there's a certain patronizing demeanor in Captain Phillips's psychological play, which looks like to inspire a slight division between the crew, because the crew that Musey is with doesn't want Musey to listen to Captain Phillips, and that's dividing them just a little bit more when Captain Phillips plays Musey. And like the way they never capped anybody, like, you know what I mean, like the fucking Somali pirates, they haven't killed anybody in the movie or whatever right now, right? There's a certain sweetness to their criminal life that maybe they didn't have the killer instinct to pull this off, but at the same time, it's really hard to tell, man. It really is hard to tell. Like, if that Somali crew, the real life Somali crew from the fucking real life Richard Phillips story, if they decided to start shooting people until there was only like 3 of them left, would they have gotten away with it? You know, it's like, it's hard to tell if something like that, would happen. Like, it's their humanity that kind of allows them to become easier to catch from these guys here. You gotta love that, like, dark night style of music. Where is she? Where's Rachel? I know. Fucking Batman. Yeah, it was very Christopher Nolan's Batman kind of music, I guess. That part of the Navy SEALs there. I guess that's kind of moving this into like act what? Act 4? Is this a 5 act like kind of movie? Seems like it. Is that way too outdated to be like, hey, this is a 5 act movie, not a 3 act movie? Feels like a 5 act movie if you were to judge it like a play. You know what I mean? Like a you could break it down into 5 acts. You know that beginning part, that blue collar part, the everyday job part, the pirates taking the ship, the pirates now having Captain Phillips, and then later on would be Act 5 in my eyes. In my defense, that's part of the podcast for me to talk too much over the film. Movie's really speaking to me, dog. I love the ego of Musey. Just that back and forth between Hanks and Abdi just makes the movie, dude. Makes it. All right. Oh. Try not to knock the screen behind me off. Yeah, that part right there. That is like a really solid intimidation tactic. Like, that's awesome. I mean, that shot is heavily CGI, but at the same time, it looks pretty good. Like, the CGI now, and like compared to 2013, like for me, the CGI is still the same. You can tell the difference, but it's still fun, right? And I love that little like reaction Tom Hanks has to hearing that the good guys are there to save him. That crazy look that the pirates have, not only is that from, the Navy and all that jazz, it's from the drug that they've been doing that whole time, and they're probably withdrawing right now. I mean, the that cot like stuff there, apparently it has an addictive quality that can react like that. But that's kind of the territory with any drug, right? Any drug, really. Even weed, or even like, especially alcohol, right? Like, I mean, is alcohol a drug? It's up to you. I think alcohol is a drug because it's a concentrated form of fermentation, right? So it's like, it's something else that needs to kind of be, I don't know about synthesized, but like, something that has an addictive kind of drug-like quality to it. I would consider it a drug. I love the colors that they're using right now. Like that soft blue light. Okay, so this must be like day 3. Day 3 or 4, right? Like 96-hour standoff from like Easter Sunday to like, it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. So I haven't slept in like 24 hours. So like I might actually get to sleep after this movie. But at the same time, though, I kind of want to keep writing. I kind of want to keep going with not having sleep because I have the night off. And if I have the night off, that means I can write all night and all that stuff. So like the cool thing about writing, I mean, clearly you're expressing yourself and all that stuff there. But the cool thing about writing when you get really tired is that you think of ideas that you wouldn't normally think about when you're fresh. So both sides of like, oh, I'm refreshed, I'm going to do my best work, and oh, I'm exhausted, I'm going to do my best work, can result in like a very cool collision of of jokes or whatever, like dynamic kind of quality in writing. Yeah. That's what I like about, challenging myself by staying awake more than we're supposed to. They say that there's a certain test about a guy who he went into a cave, and when he went into a cave for like 6 months, his body adapted to a 30-hour a day awake kind of quality to it. And I buy that. I would totally buy that. Because, like, every time that I've ever, like, maxed out myself there, like, every time I've ever, like, truly did my best to fucking do something when I was, like, fresh compared to when I was, like, really extremely tired, like, it's just, there's a certain yin and yang to it. It's hard to explain. You have to kind of live it in order to do it. So write when you're very fresh and write when you're really tired, and see what happens when you make them intersect in the middle. It's fun. Now I love the way that part, just like the Navy doesn't know what's going on, so they're scrambling. Like I love the way that part creates another dynamic in the story, right? Like ups and downs. Aw, like Tom Hanks underneath that thing there. I like that tone in the delivery that Tom Hanks chose there, because there was a certain weeping in the way he said, like, we're falling apart here. Like, there was a certain weeping quality when he said, like, falling apart here. He's like crying on the inside. This is like how Tom Hanks chose to pay homage to Richard Phillips by delivering that line that specific way. And that's the genius of Tom Hanks. Just those little intricate details that he decides will better convey the character for the movie. It's very professional. He's like, what's his name there? Anthony Hopkins or something, a professional who practices his lines 250 times, right? And when you practice your lines 250 times, you can run it forwards and backwards. And when you can run it forwards and backwards, part of acting is reacting. So it's like when Anthony Hopkins or Tom Hanks here, for example, sorry to bring up Anthony Hopkins, but that 250 line thing came to my head there. But when Tom Hanks, reads the lines over and over again, and he gets to a point where he knows them forward and backwards. Part of reacting is not knowing what Musey is going to say while he's acting like Captain Phillips, right? Like, the character has to act like this is brand new information to the character. When the actor is playing him, the actor has to play like, I'm hearing this for the first time, even though I read this script millions of times. Very, very cool when it comes to, like, that's what acting really is. This scene's awesome. It's so gripping. Just that part where Tom Hanks realizes that there's no talking his way out of it when it comes to Musey. Like, Musey is so trapped in this life. Nothing can talk him out of it. And there's that reaction that Tom Hanks has after figuring that out. That is kind of terrifying when you really look at it. Imagine being in that situation. You're a hostage. And you recognize that the person who abducted you is going to go all the way if he needs to. And that's what he saw there. And that scene is what I feel there. I just feel bad for this poor little bugger. Like, the whole time, just like I know he's the bad guy, but like, that foot injury stuff, dude, is killer. As somebody who comes from a race that has people who get like diabetes once in a while, that stuff there, like, cutting your foot is, it's always bad, but like, made even more because of, that awareness. So it's just like seeing that cut, like that guy reacting to his cut feet there, reminds me of some family members who had that kind of thing there, where if they cut themselves on the bottom of their foot or whatever, they're going to keep bleeding because the disease was winning, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So that's what is, like, worth feeling for this young man here who just got caught up in the Somali pirate life. Yeah, so like the real Captain Phillips actually shoved that pirate and actually tried to swim back. And if I remember correctly, he said that there was something so futile about it. It's like I was gonna try to escape from them, or like maybe I was gonna get shot. It was just like just everything going through his head all at once. There was just like just an unbelievable story with like miles and miles of ocean beneath you. So I was looking up some stuff about, you know, like some of the like SEAL Team 6 dudes. There's this guy here, like Rob O'Neill, who was like part of the Navy crew, like that SEAL Team 6 operator stuff. And I've got a couple of things here. I love that the Navy has 3 wins. Like they call these 3 wins. If you start your day, if you brush your teeth, and if you show up for training, that's 3 wins to start your day. I love that about the Navy. Let's see, the guy Rob O'Neill, who was part of the SEAL Team 6, like orchestra. He helped orchestrate some of this and the Bin Laden thing and all that stuff. There, he wanted to join the Marine Corps because of Full Metal Jacket. And then he found out that they have snipers in the Navy, so he ended up joining the Navy. His instructor said, "I'll never give you something impossible, but I'll give you something hard to do. Then I'll give you something harder than that." And then his instructor also said, like, "Don't quit. That's just emotion." That's like some of the best advice I've ever fucking heard. So that's pretty cool, man. Oh, another quote is like, "They make you fail on purpose to see how you handle failure. Can you get over failure?" Like stuff like that. So like the psychological training that like these SEALs have, like it's intense, because like if you get dropped off in a location somewhere that is like random in the world, you have to be able to survive there no matter what you run into and no matter what happens to you. And it's just so cool that there are people who do this kind of training with one another, and then they save real lives, or they end real lives. Like, I mean, like, for the, in the name of safety is what they're supposed to be doing. When they killed Osama bin Laden, it was supposed to be in the name of peace and safety because of what happened before and all that stuff there. So that's what I was thinking about SEAL Team 6. I made one joke about SEAL Team 6. If I can remember it, I'll try to tell it right now. It's like, if you start your day, that's 1 win. If you show up for work, that's 2 wins. If you brush your teeth, that's 3 wins. And then the rest of the joke is kind of like, if you make love to the girlfriend, that's 4 wins. If you have a shower, that's 5 wins. And if you kill Osama bin Laden, that's SEAL Team 6 wins. Yeah. I gotta get better at it, but yeah. It's a cheesy SEAL Team 6 joke I tried to write there. Like how close this is to the real story, like how close it is to the real story. Like I was thinking that when Captain Phillips jumped in the water, I feel like the Navy should have been prepared to scoop him up when he jumped in the water, or like to shoot at the pirates then and there. But I do wonder like how much of this is like added for dramatic effect. Like I know he said that he jumped into the water and all that stuff, so it's just like it makes me wonder like why didn't the Navy like shoot the pirates then, but maybe they were caught off guard because Captain Phillips jumped into the water, right? So kind of makes me question like I wasn't there, nobody else was, like you weren't there, all that stuff there, like unless you're unless you're whom this movie was based on. But like there's a certain like, did the Navy fuck up by not having their guns ready pointing at the pirates when Captain Phillips jumped in that first time? Again, you got that Batman music with the like the strings, and then like that horn. So yeah, good choice on the music. So I was reading about these like safety pods that they had on like the Maersk, Alabama. According to my research, to sound like very magic school bussy right there. According to my research, like these fucking pods here, swearing for no reason, hell yeah. But yeah, these pods here, like apparently they have like a lot of food in them and a lot of like water and resources in them to last like a week or something. So for them to not have any resources in the pod makes me wonder if and did the crew prepare for that, or did they just kind of add that into the story for like dramatic effect, just to not give them resources to be like, we need water. So the way that this story kind of ties into the things that Rob O'Neill says, there's this one line that I remember there. Like there's a big difference between kissing your daughter goodbye and kissing your daughter goodnight. So there's always that feeling of this could be it. This could be the last time I see my loved ones before they go. And apparently Rob O'Neill, if I remember correctly, was at like his daughter's birthday party or something like that, something with cake. And he had like a piece of cake, and then he got like a text message or a phone call or something like that, and it was like, okay, you got to go rescue Captain Phillips. And it's just that reality that these kinds of rescue workers from the Navy and all that jazz stuff, like the way when they have to go, they're ready to go. You know what I mean? Like that is fucking awesome. Discipline, 100%. That's what it's all about. I love that mark on Captain Phillips' forehead from the gun. Hell yeah. Just the futility, dude, of like these Somali pirates, just like thinking that they're going to, you know, get away from these assassins. You know what I mean? Like these trained killers, dude. Like, yeah, dude. It's just it's crazy, dude. Just for like just a couple of Somali pirates to try to take on the Navy. Like, it's a fun rescue story, but there is so much futility in Musie's life, and it's just that part is a little bit sad, but at the same time, Musie's greed could have been his downfall, because if they took the $30,000, would the Navy have been called? You know what I mean? Like I'm sure the Navy was aware of it, all that stuff, but like, okay, the pirates left. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just like they could have had the $30,000 and lived freely, all that jazz. So it does really make you think, how trapped was Musie compared to how greedy was Musie. So good. This so powerful. Ray, that scene, like, so fucking powerful, dude. Like, maybe in America, like, Musi, he clearly has some sort of respect for humanity, for him not to just, like, waste a hostage in the first place and all that. And then just like the futility of everything's going to be okay, Irish. Like, you're going to go home. We're going to get dollars. Everything's going to work out. And then this part here where he's like, no tricks. And the entire time they're tricking him, there's just something so helpless and hopeless for these Somali pirates. It just tugs at the heartstrings on so many levels. Yeah, man, this movie messes with my head because a part of me wants the pirates to, like, not to win, but for like everybody. Can't everybody just have a good time? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I empathize or sympathize with the antagonists in a lot of movies, and this is one of those movies where I was like, man, if I was born in a different part of the world, I could have just been as desperate as Musi to do these atrocities where it's like, I'm gonna kidnap somebody and try and make money from it. Like, that's a mind fucked. Imagine your only option today. Imagine your only option today was like to like, the only option I have today, I have to kidnap somebody so that I can, like, get paid money for it. Like, imagine that being your only option because you're a Somali pirate. Like, that's a mind fuck. And that's why this movie creates a certain a certain awareness of a kind of darkness in the world. And then, like, how much of it is greed, though? Like, how far is somebody like the real Musey? Like, this is based on real characters, real life. Like I mean, real people from real life. I mean, these characters in the movie based on real people. So it's like, how much of Musey being a pirate is him being born into that life, and how much of Musey being a pirate is his choice because of his greed and lust for power, even. I'm the captain now. You know, there's a lot of ego. There's a lot of ego in Musey's demeanor towards everybody in the story, starting with how they convey him at the beginning when he becomes the man by killing the man. Now, here is something you can't understand, how Musey can just kill a man. No, I'm just joking about that. Cypress Hill. At the beginning, though, like, that fucking wrench to the head or whatever, I'm assuming he's dead. You don't really see him dead. You see him kind of like, you know. But you just kind of assume that he probably died if he didn't die instantly. I love that. I don't know, man. It's like, what, Born Identity kind of music or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's still that, like, I like comparing it to The Dark Knight or something, because I'm that like the strings and then like the percussion. It's very, very Nolan-esque. So there's like another cool like character arc, but for like the other pirates, like that part where, like, since they're without Musey now, issuing that threat that they're going to kill Captain Phillips. Like, Musey was more humane. I love this score because it feels like it keeps going up and up and up and up. And it's just the way, like, it's a musical illusion. A lot of music is a magic trick. Ta-da. It's a very good score. Yeah, man. The intensity of this climax of our movie in this fifth and final act. And right here, this part where Captain Phillips gives up hope for a moment. It's devastating, dude. On that poor young guy there. He doesn't want to kill anybody. And the way the music changes to an emotional calling, like this music calls for you to start feeling, if you let it, the magic of this part. You can cry with Tom Hanks if you really let it. Like he's saying goodbye to the people that he loves. Like, I'm gonna die right now. I love you. That's what he's saying to the people he cares about. And just Paul Greengrass puts it all on the screen there for you, and Tom Hanks, just like a genius, gives you that real tear. And right there, man, the intensity of Captain Phillips' last stand. And right there, the only thing I would change is I would say Captain Phillips' name, because psychology says that if a killer has somebody, you got to give them their name and they might see their humanity. That's what you try to give. Learn that from, what you call it? Silence of the Lambs. There it is. Right now he's starting to use his name. So you know what I mean? Like that could inspire empathy and humanity if he says Captain Phillips' name instead of, is the hostage hurt? Psychology wise, yeah. If you're ever trying to negotiate somebody down, use their name, use whomever's name they're trying to, if they're trying to hurt somebody, use names. Man. I love you, Bob Roxy. I love you, Sid. Oh, man, I love you. So fucking good, dude. Am I ever gonna see my family again? I just want to see my wife again. Please, God, help me get out of this situation. And then, like, the intensity of the Marines being like, we need to save Captain Phillips. What a veteran. What an actor, dude. What an actor. Now that is why Tom Hanks makes the big bucks. How many emotions is that? He's weeping for the deaths of the pirates. He's weeping for him being in that situation. He's weeping for the futility that each side has. It's everything. And then, like, at the same time, that relief of, like, oh my God, I made it. I'm alive still. Like, Tom Hanks' genius just fucking, it's powerful. And poor old Musey. Maybe in America Irish. Now, some people complained about Tom Hanks's facial hair there, but he's been on that fucking lifeboat thing with the pirates for like 4 days. So it's like, that's like a 20 o'clock shadow. Yeah, those guys do a really good job playing those officials there. Like, your friends are dead, right? Like, just straight to the point. This is business for them. I think it's hearing like a woman's voice being like, "Are you okay?" is why Tom Hanks is electing to give such a weeping performance here. Like, that softness and quality that is inside of all of our mothers, you know, like, you okay? Reminds me of a Dane Cook a bit when Dane Cook needs a good cry, and then then his mom calls Hey, you did your best. Go check it out. Go check it out. It's such a good bit. Very, very good acting. I find that like when I'm acting, quivering the bottom lip helps cry a little bit. Like it helps a little bit. Like how much of that passion of like that's not my blood, that like kid with the gun who chose that pirate life got shot, blasted in the fucking head there, like that's his blood. Like how much of it was him weeping and how much is relief. Like Tom Hanks's ability to naturally bounce back and forth from relief to like grieving, relief, grieving, and like just that devastation, the futility that both sides were just doing the jobs that they were born into having. The blue collar guys, that blue collar life that we take for granted, and then the criminals, the pirates that have that life that they have to commit those crimes, and they have to they have to do that in order to try to get ahead in life and stuff like that. It's very gripping. And Richard Phillips returned to Vermont on April 17th, 2009 and was reunited with his family. Happy April 17th, everybody. And yeah, Musey got 33 years, dude. And then Captain Phillips was like, I need to get back to work. This is what I do for a living. And yeah, man. Another powerful film from Mr. Paul Greengrass. And a very good script by Billy Ray. And then you got Stephen Talty writing with you can see the credits, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the credits. That was fun. Thank you for watching the movie Captain Phillips with me. It's a bit of a long one, so if you watched it with me this entire way, I really appreciate it, and I thank everybody who does watch my podcast. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that right there was Captain Phillips. One of the best films from 2013. Let's see if I can push the menu, get some light here before I sign off. If I can find the thing here. Center button. Nope, there we go. What's this one? Just open up the DVD case and hopefully the light will come on. There we go. There we go. So yeah, finished up Captain Phillips 2013, the fucking Blu-ray edition there. And yeah, man, it's like one of the best movies of 2013 in my opinion, and one of Tom Hanks's best performances overall, other than like Woody from Toy Story. I'm just joking. But all right, signing off. Antisocial commentary number 17. I'm the captain now. Captain Phillips. Yeah, man. Signing off. Cheers. Love. Respect. Cut.